Nelson and Jones, 2024. If you ain't first, you're vaxxed.
And that's the end of the show. Thank you for coming, everybody.
Why can't I say that?
This episode is brought to you by Whoop. Whoop is a 24/7 health and fitness wearable that tracks your daily activity and gives detailed breakdowns of your sleep, recovery, stress, and more to help provide you with personalized insights and feedback on your health. With 140 trackable daily habits, Whoop can help show the positives and negatives of your lifestyle. Try Whoop for 1 month free and start the journey towards a healthier you. Head to join.whoop.com/mayhem to get started.
Hey.
Hello.
Glad we can get everybody together, man.
Yeah.
You've been working a lot, huh?
Yeah. Dick's been out gallivanting around.
Yeah.
Just playing, you know?
Yeah, just playing.
Just
5 train with riches in 7 days, basically. And then traveling in between. It was great.
That's crazy.
No, it was a ton of fun. It was just exhausting.
Where all did you go?
We were in London. For basically everywhere we went, we were there for 2 days except for Lyon. Well, kind of like half days or whatever. So we went London, Brussels, Paris, Lyon. And Scott just left, so now we can't really like banter back and forth about the trip. So
All right.
he'll be back, but so before he does, like I'd say, big shout out to the media team because they already got back and Scott already has a video out of it.
Scott was editing it next to me on the plane back while I was watching Manhunt. Actually, I watched Lincoln and then I watched Manhunt.
See, that's what I want next time, Scott. I want the behind the scenes of Froning on the plane, you know?
The world's hottest plane.
Just want to know how this guy works.
Everywhere, my only gripe with Europe is no
AC.
There's no AC on the entire continent. The entire continent has no AC. Doesn't matter what country you go to. And even if randomly the room would have AC, they have it locked at 21 degrees Celsius, which is like, 72 degrees or something like that?
Gosh.
Who the hell can sleep at 72 degrees?
Oh, my
I know it's first world problems, whatever.
No.
It's miserable.
That's what this is. And this, if you want to argue that there's any other country that's the best country in the world besides America,
AC.
Let me see your AC. How much AC you got?
We were joking about it yesterday because when we went down to that Italian trip, a couple years ago now, they would give us a hard time because their claim was that the environmental impact of AC was so through the roof, but then all they had was bottled water.
Yeah,
it's like
you see, here's my argument with that. Actually, I do have an argument with the environmental thing. So I get
Let's turn
that.
this thing political real quick.
Well, just remember this is from the guy who thought that you could open up everyone's windows and cool the environment with AC.
Yeah.
Which the jury's out on it, you know?
I think so. That we never tried.
We haven't tried.
So like I'm all for, wanting to protect the environment in any way, as long as there's evidence that shows what we're doing is helping. But what I don't like is how certain Americans put their thumb on other Americans as in, kind of like normal people like us. When you look over at China and they can't even go outside sometimes because of the smog.
Yeah.
It's the same globe. How about you take them down to here with us and then we'll all work as a team and get a little lower. They're way up here. We're right here. I'm not worried about I'm not worried about the cows farting out in the field. They can't go outside without a mask on some days, or they can't go outside at all some days because the smog's so bad. So, yeah.
Just do your part, Just do your part.
Yeah. Worry about myself.
Yeah, man. You just kind of introduce the complexities of international politics, right?
Let's expand on that.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. I do have something to expand on that.
Yeah, you do.
Good Lord.
That'll solve it.
Here's my vote.
That ain't solving nothing.
Nelson and Jones, 2024. If you ain't first, you're vaxxed.
And we're canceled. And that's the end of the show. Thank you for coming, everybody.
Here we go.
You might as well explain.
Look on the ballot. Yeah.
For those who don't know.
They don't need to know.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. All right. It would be a very entertaining couple of years though. That's for sure.
Some people don't understand the play on words. Do you want me to explain it?
No.
Okay.
It's pretty clear. It's pretty clear.
I get it.
I'll go back to my shout out to Mayhem Media. Already got the Europe episode out. Also launched the story of the 2023 games, Unbreakable, which I thought was fantastic. And then, and we got another athlete story out with Luke Parker. So these guys have been cranking, and we got a lot more hard work coming up.
Everybody else got to vacation while they were in Europe, but me and Scott worked in Facundo.
In Facundo.
We worked.
Else got the vacation.
Yeah. Billings was drunk every morning at like 9. I'm just kidding.
I did like Billings digging into McDonald's.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You have to try it everywhere you go, right? You know,
sure.
like just like
It's different. It's
see
a
the
little
nuances.
just slightly different.
What was it? What was different at the ones over there? Not much, really.
Not a ton, honestly. It was pretty close to the
It's
same.
like Pulp Fiction. It's the same thing with a different name,
Yeah.
A Royale with cheese.
I mean, maybe just a little bit different, but nothing crazy.
Okay, so you were working, you were hustling, but you did come back with some fire. So like, what were the high points?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool that no matter where you go across the world, the CrossFit community is the same type of people, super passionate people. Central London where we were at was awesome. The gym was cool. It was, it was underneath the metro, as they call it.
The Tube in London.
The Tube. Everywhere else, I guess it was the metro. Brussels, we went to Rogue Europe, which is awesome. Cool to see. We were at CrossFit Louvre 3, because there's multiple of them. And then we were at CrossFit Genas, I think it was Genas, right?
Genas?
Yeah, they were at third at
Genus?
the games the year we all went. No, year before you guys were there.
Genus?
Genas?
Genus?
Genas.
Genas?
I don't know, because
Genas.
you can never. I think the broadcasters know as much as we do about
Yeah.
their names.
Yeah.
They just
So,
call what they see.
we went there, and then we ended at the French Throwdown in the semifinal, which are technically two different things.
Yes and
really?
no.
Yes and no.
Because they had a community event outside.
Community competition, which we programmed, and we did some workouts outside while it was raining, and it was a ton of fun though.
I've been to French Throwdown, and it's
dude,
amazing how many people participate.
Yeah, I mean the spectator thing was really cool, but then we went inside at like 7, and it was like 100 affiliate owners, and we did like 100 people were moving all at the same time, which was pretty cool. They had, I think it was something like 64 rigs or something like pull-up spots.
That's
and
cool.
then what was it? We did 2 minutes. You did with the partner. You did kind of conga line, but it was 2 minutes of max toes to bar into max burpee over the line synchro. Everything was synchro into box jumps, but you just kind of alternated the box jump on either side, and then max dumbbell snatch. There was a 50 and a 35, men or female, whatever.
Yeah.
But one person had to use the 50, one had to use the 35 for synchro, and then you took a 2-minute rest and then went back through it all. And so, I mean, it was like chaos in there, but it was awesome to see.
And they had the dance party lights going.
Yeah, dance party lights. You go to jump up on the pull-up bar, and you're like, I might grab it, I might not, I don't know, So
Spinning.
But it was a ton of fun.
That venue you didn't really get to see much of it.
I got to see it for opening ceremonies, which was cool.
But that venue was sweet. That was a legit. And the people that were at Berlin last year were saying they actually liked that one more.
Oh, really?
Which I can't even imagine how. But it was a sweet venue. And we had this little room off of, like right off the competition floor. And it was like, what are those little lights called? Like
It's
for
like a makeup room.
Yeah, it's like a makeup room, but it had a bathroom and everything. And I said I'd give a toe to have that at the CrossFit Games.
Yeah.
It was such a good setup.
Which toe?
Not your big toe, right?
You need that one for
right
both.
foot, pinky toe.
Right. Ooh, pinky toe.
No,
Not
no,
even
no.
like
Sorry,
a center toe.
right foot, like ring finger toe.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, that one seems pretty worthless.
Yeah.
If you had to give one up,
If you had to give one up.
Middle
like a good
one,
one.
right in the middle.
Yeah.
it probably serves a massive function that we don't know about.
Yeah, probably.
Did you get to watch much of the competition?
No, not much.
Yeah.
It's hard to move around in a CrossFit venue without and actually be able to pay attention and watch stuff. So, we get to hang out though and see, and see the venue, and talk to the athletes between events.
Mountain Ops has combined my two biggest passions, fitness and the outdoors, as well as sourcing quality ingredients. Mountain Ops Supplements has helped me get the most out of my training sessions in and out of the gym. If you want to start taking your results seriously, I've put together a bundle of Mountain Ops products. New and returning customers save 20% on their purchase when you visit mountainops.com and use the code Froning. That's MTNOPS.com, code FRONING. What could happen if you committed 1 year to better nutrition? The RP Diet app provides a virtual nutrition coach and a year of nutrition guidance for less than $8 a month. Take the guesswork out of your nutrition. Head over to rpstrength.com and use the code Froning for a year of the RP Diet app for only $89.99.
That's like last year at the games. We were hustling around the camp grounds, and then like people go, "Hey, what happened in the competition?" And I was like,
I have no idea.
Zero idea. Have to check it out. Are we gonna? So we're probably to talk semifinals. Are we gonna review, like, kind of talk about what happened? Like, because now we get to see some of the workouts. Did you get to watch any of it? Yeah. Or preview, or where?
I don't know. You're running the ship.
Okay, so I say, even though you didn't get to watch a lot of it, let's review. But before that, let's make one important announcement, which is Mayhem Hunt officially launches June 10th. So it's coming up hot, and I got to give a massive shout out. So first of all, people are excited about it.
Yep.
You can right now. You can go to mayhemhunt.com, sign up to get the email and be
in the know.
Be in the know, be alerted. But the app will actually launch on the 10th. Yep. And in conjunction with that, I was going to give a shout out to Bird for like the giveaways that are accompanying the Mayhem Hunt stuff.
Pretty cool.
They're bananas.
Yeah. BANANAS.
Yeah. Like bigger than I'm going to read.
The words of, is it Fergie?
No.
Gwen Stefani.
Gwen Stefani. Dude, have you seen her? I've never seen her. I've never actually seen her. Her, and we were watching some award show.
Oh, isn't she married to Blake Shelton now?
Blake Shelton. He's like 7 years younger than her or something, and she looks like she's 30, and he looks like he's like 47. Yeah. It's crazy. I was like, who is that?
I think he also is a country boy, and she's like, she tries
for sure,
really hard. But yeah,
it's
to your
crazy.
Point. Yeah.
Like, she actually looks like she's 30 years old. I've never actually seen what she looks like.
What?
Never.
Oh man. Oh, I grew up with like her heyday. You know, I was a big fan.
I know the Banana song. You know, who doesn't?
But then I don't know. Are your kids into like the competition shows? Like America's Got Talent and all that kind of stuff.
I shelter them from that.
Oh, dude,
I'm just kidding.
My kids love them.
I hate it, so we don't watch it.
But I guess they linked up because they were both
on The Voice.
On The Voice,
Voice.
And they're it was pretty cool. They their personalities come out. But I'm a huge fan of Blake Shelton.
Yeah, no, Blake Shelton's cool.
Is his bar the one that Morgan Wallen?
No.
Eric Church's. Okay.
Isn't there like a plaque there that now is like, don't do it? Morgan.
I've seen a lot of.
It says, don't do it. You're not Morgan Wallen or something like that. I think I saw it on social media the other day.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so Mayhem Hunt giveaways. The first one, which goes from the 10th through the 13th, in conjunction with Mountain Ops. It's with Mountain Ops and all brands. They're going to do the Utah TAC show.
TAC show. Yeah, we're going to TAC.
Okay, so this will be, the winner will get a free lifetime subscription, a free year supply of Ignite, and an entire bow kit. So like value of these bows cost
couple thousands.
$2,000. Kafaru backpack, First Light gear, optics from SIG, marsupial gear, grizzly cooler, and some Montana Knife Company knives.
Can I enter?
How do I sign up?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Every time I look at these, I'm like, dang, dude. And then giveaway 2 is this one's even better. 2025 Hunt of a Lifetime with Rich. So again, free lifetime subscription, a year supply of the Ignite with the bow kit, the backpack, the First Light, the optics, marsupial, the grizzly cooler. But you can tell us more about the hunt.
I don't know where we're hunting next year, but
we don't know where. But it'll be something that most people don't get to do.
Yeah, it'll be a real hunt.
And it's not like because you're waiting for years and years and years to get your license or your tags, but because even if you waited a lifetime, you're not going to go to this particular place.
Yeah, it'll be a good spot. Yeah. That's what's cool about a lot of these companies is you've got good connections. Yeah. Not like it's not a high fence or anything either. It's a good,
it's
real
just
hunt.
Really good. Yeah,
at a good spot.
And so without turning it all the way into a Mayhem Hunt podcast,
let's do it.
I would love to. People will probably like, if they're interested, they're interested. But people who haven't heard about this yet, like for example, you told me about your workout yesterday. But what's kind of like the key differentiator? Like what changes it?
I mean, at the basis, it's still CrossFit, but we kind of know the demands of what we're doing. So you can specialize it a little bit, like you would with any other sport. Like I think it is a general physical preparedness, but we know there's specific movements we need to be ready for. So there is a lot of grunt work, a lot of carries. There's a lot of machine work, a lot of leg stuff. There's, odd object, which would be grunt work. There's balance stuff. Like just we've taken kind of, our expertise in fitness and adapted it to being in the mountains. So it might be a little bit more grindy there's still going to be some days that have intensity to it. But it's almost like a sustained effort on a lot of the stuff. So it's fun. It's just different, it's really how you would adapt CrossFit to train for any sport, like CrossFit can be used for training for sports, but when we know the demand, why would you not try to specialize a little bit in it? Like,
we're just cutting out a lot of the high
skill.
Well, so I wouldn't even just say high skill stuff.
We might
I would
snatch
just say
and clean
like
some, but
I would say the things that you would like associate with like the games, like you're not going to see really handstand obstacles or a burpee pullover or whatever. You're not going to see
push-ups even.
You're not. Yeah, you're not going to see stuff like that.
Walk or anything like that. So
it's just going to be.
And there'll be different tracks like we do with Mayhem Athlete, where different levels and different fitness levels. Because here's the deal: is a lot of these guys or girls are new to like trying to get into some type of shape using something a little bit different. So. There'll be different levels, kind of 3 different levels if you don't have equipment. And then I don't want to say scaled, but just different
Sure. Love it.
Angela's doing a lot of the programming. We do a lot of the testing of the workouts, maybe give ideas and stuff.
And if you're a Mayhem athlete currently, don't freak out. It will be an add-on to a subscription, but it'll be at a massive discount.
Yeah, for sure.
So you could have access to both, which some days is nice. Like yesterday I had limited time and of course, yours was longer. I was like, I don't have time for that.
You were ping-ponging back and forth. He was about to do a Mayhem Athlete, and he's like, what was the one that they're doing over there on the Stairmaster? And that workout was terrible.
Yeah, break that one down real quick.
It was stupid. We'd just gotten off. I mean, that night we got back at 10:30, something like that. Took the kids to school, got to the gym, drank some coffee, and then Watkins was working out. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I was going to do something on Stairmaster. I'm like, all right. That's good. I'll just, rip the Band-Aid off, something kind of move for however long. And so I was just going to wear a vest and do 10 flights and then 10 bench at 75-pound dumbbells. And so Watkins is like, well, I'm going to use this feed sack with 50 pounds. And I was like, well, I can't let Watkins walk with more weight than me. So I'm walk around. I'm like, there's no other feed sack because we only have that one 50-pounder. I was like, I'm not using 100. So I walked over and we have those blue, Rogue sandbags that we have filled to 50 pounds. I was like, all right, screw it, I'll use this. Well, when I grabbed that, Watkins is like, well, I got to use the same thing you use, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, all right, let's do this. So we start, and it was awful. It was like, I think I already said it, but 10 rounds, 10 flights of stairs, and 10 dumbbell bench with 75s, holding that 50-pound sandbag. And it was just like, you couldn't get the sandbag comfortable.
Yeah.
It's in that corner where there's no air moving. It's the first day that's been like over 85 degrees in there. It's humid, and you can't get comfortable, carrying that freaking bag. There's just no place. So 30 seconds you'd hold it here, and then I'd have to like switch it, and you're trying not to fall off the Stairmaster while you're doing that. It's not the safest. And I'm just watching Watkins just slowly, like, I think he was taking, like, it was not good. I was slowing down too, but man, it was, and the hard part about that Stairmaster is like, on a run, you could kind of slow down, right? No. You couldn't slow down because you just fall off the back, So, man, it was hard. It took me like almost 30 minutes.
Oh,
and
it was, have you ever had it auto stop on you? It's got a pretty incredible safety feature. If you're standing on it,
far back, if
you get too far, it just stops.
But when I would get to 10 flights, I would just ride it to the bottom and then step off.
Yeah. So. It was funny. I saw a bird coming across the gym, and I was like, hey, man, did you train yet? And then as he got closer and closer, just like a look on his face, and then just like Rich Froning drenched in sweat. Yeah. I was like, oh, yeah, you did.
Yeah, Nelson was I think Nelson did 8 rounds. He's like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. I asked Bird, he was sitting on the bench for a while. I go, is there built-in rest to this? He goes, no. I go, okay, I didn't know. I didn't know. I thought there was built-in rest. He was resting so long.
I'd build some in. And then what about you clowns over there? I asked if I could work out with them yesterday.
No, they're just doing strength, man. They're just getting strong.
I was like, hey, you guys, can I work in with you? And
Ben cleaned, 380 the other day? He's doing a weightlifting meet. Like, that's what he needs to do.
Sweet.
Yeah, oh, my
June 8th,
gosh.
Nashville.
But then he was like, well, I just want to do something I'll do good at. And I'm like, all right, I get that.
That's fair.
Which, I mean, that's relative, too, because in my weight class, there's dudes, I'm sure, that that will put up
Where's
440 plus, you know.
Where's this?
It's at the Nashville Fit Expo. It's like there's gonna be a bunch of vendors there. I think Jay Cutler's gonna be there and Brian Shaw.
What are you trying to snatch?
I'd like to hit at least 290. My PR right now is 285. So maybe 290 snatch and
You can hit 300 by
360 clean
probably
jerk
could.
maybe.
You've been making huge gains though, man.
Yeah, it's amazing what like
No fitness.
4 Metcons a week will do for your strength.
What did you guys end up doing Metcon wise after I left?
We did a spin on Mayhem Athlete workout yesterday because there was no room to handstand walk. So it was
The ski.
18, 30, 42 cal ski, and we went 20, 25, 20 strict handstand push up because it was 100, 150 foot, 100 foot handstand walks. I was trying to think like something that take a minute, minute and a half, minute.
How'd that go?
It was pretty good. I mean, it's just pumpy, not much breathing to it.
Yeah.
For anybody who did the prescribed Mayhem Athlete yesterday, we determined it was a little bit underprogrammed.
Yeah, it was underprogrammed. I got on Jake about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, in his defense, it's programmed for the
Focus on-
open and the open and quarterfinal athletes, and so it's such a toss up. And this is something that I've tried to hey, in Metcons, especially for people that are working on skills, if the skill is a limiter to your intensity, then you need to scale it.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't need to be in the workout unless it's after the workout or the volume piece. So take this workout yesterday, and this is not a knock on Jake and what they were trying to get done. I see what they were trying to do, but it was 50 double unders, 25-foot handstand walk, max deadlifts in 2 minutes, 1 minute rest. But you stopped when you got to 35 deadlifts.
Yeah.
Which is not. It
Not
took
enough,
you
yeah.
1.25
I probably could have
rounds.
done it in the first round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right. So but it's hard when you're programming for the masses.
The
And that, I mean,
masses.
that's the good part about, what we offer here is, you do have different levels. So
Yeah.
maybe for you that you should look at what the semifinal workout was once you look at that.
That comes you're a veteran CrossFit athlete.
Been doing it for a minute.
You've been doing it for a long time,
Yeah.
so your ability, and that takes some time to figure out too. Okay, I can scale up on this one. I could be close to those guys at this one.
Yeah.
Some
100%.
people don't know that.
But what I told Jake is simple fix to that is you have to do 5 rounds.
Yeah.
You do the deadlifts. You can do 50 double unders, 10 deadlifts, and then it's max 25-foot sections in the handstand walk. So
Yeah.
you're testing the handstand walk while fatigued, and you still get some volume. Take a workout we did when we were in Paris.
Paris, Toda Bar.
Yeah, so we've got a wide group. Nobody there's going to semifinals. And so what we did was 3 minutes on, 3 minutes off. One, you're playing with space and, trying to keep people moving. So it was 3 minutes on, 3 off, 6 sets each. There was a little miscommunication or wires got crossed on translation.
Some people thought it was 6 rounds total.
Yeah.
Each.
Yeah. And so it was 21 cal row, 21 burpee over the rower, and then max toes to bar in the remaining time. So at least at the very minimum, you
21,
got
21.
105 cals rowed and
Yeah.
105 toes or burpees. So
Yeah.
you at least get a good workout.
Yeah.
And so that's, that's just what it takes. And
Yeah.
the more and more we practice, and that happens very rarely in the
Yeah.
programming.
You're gonna
I looked at it and I was just like, oh, it hurts me when stuff like that makes it through. You're just like, oh.
when you. I mean,
'Cause for the
everyone
most part, I
knows-
watch or look and check a lot of it. But sometimes, when you're scanning over stuff, you're like, yeah, that looks good,
Yeah.
good. And then I'm like, oh, man.
You
missed
really
that
have
one.
to think about the application of it, but it does happen. If you program workouts long enough, you're gonna miss the mark every now and then.
Yeah. Usually we miss the mark to the hard side.
which
Yeah,
is
exactly.
fine. That's better.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I would rather miss the mark
to
to
the
wow,
hard
that was
side,
way
yeah.
too hard or way over
Yeah.
programmed than under. For me, it hurts me when it's under programmed.
Yeah, me
When it's
too.
over programmed, you're like, nah, you're fine.
Worst thing that happens is
Yeah.
you were out of breath for a long
Yeah.
time. If you're one of the only people who misses the mark, you miss the mark less. But I mean, I've been there. I've missed the mark. When I was programming for class workouts too. I think class workouts are some of the hardest because
There's
you
such a
could-
wide range.
he could walk in and Jen could walk in. She's pregnant. You're like, okay, I gotta make a workout for the best in the world and somebody.
Well, here's also the part is yesterday. So take yesterday, for example. I jumped into the 3 o'clock class and I looked at the workout and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm kind of jet lagged, whatever. It might be hard, might not be that hard. But it was 50 double unders, 15 cal echo, and 10 burpee box. It said get overs with the 30. I don't feel right doing a get over with the 30, so I just did jump overs, which I scaled up technically.
I like to get over with the 30 for the class.
For the
yeah,
class,
yeah.
for
I
sure.
like
But
those.
for me, I'm like, I don't need to put my hands on
Yeah.
the box. I should probably. And it was 1-to-1 rest. And so I'm like, all right, it's only 5 rounds. I'm like, maybe I should do 6 or 8 or something like that while the class is going. I'm like, no, I'm going to do 5, and I'm going to try to go a little bit harder. And it was hard.
It's hard.
You know, like you can make it
Oh,
as
for
hard as you
sure.
need to with
For
intensity, right? And
Yeah.
so like obviously 50 double unders was pretty unbroken. And
But
then
you can
like,
push the bike
and
and
then
the
push
burpees.
the
It's gonna be
burpees,
hard.
and it hurt.
But yeah, what you said about you just make that simple fix with like 10 deadlifts and then max handstand walk. You
Yeah.
make it as hard as you
Make
want.
it as hard as you want. And so,
Yeah.
and part of that is on the athlete to look at it. You know, like we can give you the tools as programming or as coaches, but part of you, like there needs to be some ownership as an athlete to be like, all right, I can do a little bit more. Like you said, when
100%.
you finish, you're like, I should have done 275.
Which never happens.
Yeah. But you know, that's just,
But even like I think with that one, maybe even 315.
Yeah,
and then you're
315,
like fighting for 3
and
rounds.
make it like 50 reps.
Yeah.
You know, like you're like 35 reps at 225 for me is not that. But somebody could look at that and be like, that's daunting for some people in the open and trying to, you know, quarterfinals and improve. And, you know, and we're at a spot with the programming where the Metcons take a little less precedent. We're trying to get people strong in the off season and, you know, and healthy up. So, you know, there's all kinds of factors that go into that. But like I said, part of me, it just, when I see that, I'm like, oh, it hurts. It stings. You know, like that was too easy. I don't ever want to work out. Anybody to walk up and be like, oh, that Mayhem workout was too easy. You know,
Like, I'll kill you. You say that again.
you shut your mouth.
because challenging people is in your
In our
it's in your
vision
codes,
statement.
right?
Is it vision statement or mission statement?
working towards a vision statement.
Yeah. It's funny. Just inner glimpse yesterday. We were working through just like getting everybody on the same page, kind of in the upper echelon of, I guess, leadership at Mayhem. And we had somebody come in and we were talking vision statement. I don't know the difference.
You called this one a vision, and then mission, I guess, is more like
And so,
strategy
like,
and tactics.
You know, what was cool about it is getting everybody kind of in the room and talking through stuff and not arguing, just voicing opinions, debating, and
also arguing.
and also arguing.
I don't even call it an argument, but I mean that was what we were supposed to be doing, right? It was like you're supposed to have like this kind of creative dissonance because.
And so the main two things that we kind of got not even hung up on, but just discussed very heavily was: are we just a fitness company, or are we a fitness and media company? And then another thing was in the actual statement was we challenge people, right? And some others wanted to use some different language like impact or empower or whatever. And, you know, I got to the point where I'm like, this is an extension of me, right? The company Mayhem is an extension of me. Granted, you know, I want people to have input.
Yeah.
Some people wanted kind of impact and whatever. And I'm like, that's not who I am. Like, like at any point, have I ever been like, you know, like if you were to think of Mayhem and me, like challenge.
Very empowering.
Yeah, no.
Very empowering.
No. It's not me, right? And so I was like, and I used the argument, I'm like, if this was Josh Malone's company, absolutely that word makes sense. But for me, am I ever like, you know, I'm always going to challenge, you know?
Sure.
So
The funny thing is too, though, like you can wordsmith it in so many different ways
for sure.
because, like, you know, it's supposed to be. So Chick-fil-A's is creating the world's most caring company.
Yeah.
It says nothing about chicken. It says nothing about how they're going to do it. It's just that's it, right?
Yeah.
And so you could geek out on the words and really be like, well, yeah, of course, challenge is a subset of that, or vice versa. Because just to be that guy, like you do empower people. You empower, you know, like by giving them.
My argument was though, but how do I do that?
Yeah.
By challenging.
Yes.
And so like, it was a very strong sticking point where, you know, and for the most part, I feel like I'm pretty open to allowing people to like speak and we might compromise on something. But for me on that, like when I looked at that, I'm like, no, challenge is that word. You know, like,
totally.
That's who we are.
And it's a really hard exercise. So I was saying to you in the gym, I found the value in the 2 hours that preceded the actual sentence
the teamwork,
and like the
and
conversations, you know,
and
the arguments. Like it was cool to hear, you know, some people I've never heard actually like really
stand on something.
Yeah, stand on something.
Yeah. So it was good. It was, you know, we kind of came into it. We were like, all right, 2-3 hours of our day. This is kind of dumb. You know, like that's just not where I want to be. And then I came out of it and I was like, all right, we got at least some value. We probably got about 2 hours out of the 3 hour value. At times we're talking in circles and I'm like, all right, this is enough. I can't do this anymore. And so challenge was one of those things. I was like, all right, I'm not budging on this. I value your opinion.
The gavel has been smashed.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not
wrong.
I'm not bowing from this one. So
all right, semifinals.
Hey, make sure you put in the notes what time we start talking about semifinals so everyone
people
can
know,
skip to it.
When it comes to training flooring, durability is the most important factor. With Regapol's established 65-year history, the decision for our studio flooring was simple. Made from recycled tires, Regapol floors are indestructible, durable, and easy to install, and has less smell than other rubber flooring products on the market. To purchase, go to roguefitness.com and search Regupol. That's spelled REGUPOL. Get strong, grow durable, and unlock your potential on Regapol rubber flooring. Recover faster, breathe easier, and increase your endurance with Airwave's scientifically proven performance mouthpiece. If high-intensity or interval-style training is your sport, try their patented endurance mouthpiece. I opted for the Mayhem 2-pack with one of each. For podcast listeners only, save 15% of your purchase at airwave.com/Froning. That's airwave.com/Froning. 30 minutes.
0.000.
Yeah.
All right,
you guys
so
take off. I'm going to check out here.
for those, so for those of you who are just tuning in now, well, I would be really interested to hear. I mean, we could break down the competition and talk about who did and who didn't do well, but I don't think that's really our strong suit. I'd love to hear about like how the workouts played out versus what we had kind of.
I actually think
anticipated.
criticizing people is my strong suit.
It is, but do you have enough information? Like, you know what I'm saying? I guess what I'm saying is you're not an analyst, and
no.
knowing who did well in what event and whatnot is just kind of for
What
me.
makes,
for me,
what
it would
makes
be,
someone an analyst, though?
I think that they spend a lot of time. I think they poured over the live stream.
What? What? Why can't I say that?
Angelo should write all of our job descriptions moving forward.
Oh, man.
I think
The
what
best part
Angelo's
is if I
trying
do,
to
like when I
say-
do cut that out, it's going to be so confusing.
I
What
know.
everyone wants to know what Angelo just said.
Let the man have
Wouldn't
his
you
words.
love to know?
Look at his t-shirt.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
I think what I'm saying is, I don't know what the requirements are, but this person, I didn't watch the live stream from top to bottom. I didn't see how it played out. Like,
You didn't watch Friday's live stream? Oh, never mind. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, got him.
Oh,
gosh.
Got him.
It's tough for me. I don't know how to put this into words. Anybody can call himself an analyst.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, like if you're watching the events, you can be like, oh, I'm analyzing it, so therefore you're an analyst. Doesn't mean you're right.
Oh, dude, no way.
I've heard some,
And I don't think
I've heard some very off commentary by people who would call themselves in all of sports.
In all of sports.
In all of
exactly,
sports.
sure.
I shouldn't say just in our sport. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah, I mean, and some of them are just like, they probably agree beforehand. Some of it's stagecraft. They're like, I'm going to say this.
I have to say this.
Like I said, I didn't think that a nerd was going to go through my F-150. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just to get the get the clicks and views.
Yeah, I mean, or just get the conversation. Like somebody's got to take a stand.
Like Angelo just did.
I don't think I took a stand. I think I just said something. I just think it's what it is.
It's accurate.
It's what it is.
All right, let's talk about the events.
First, we just need to pour one out for the homie oldest.
Oldest 1 point.
2
1
seconds.
second, right?
2 seconds.
1 or 2
1 point.
seconds. Yeah.
2 seconds. Oldest. Man, I love that guy.
You get to talk to him after?
No, I talked to him between. We left on Sunday, but he's just such a good dude.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah.
Scott said, you said he's the European Sam Demeester?
Yeah, I could see that. Him and Sam, have very similar mannerisms
sure.
and like.
Yeah.
He's just so practical.
Yeah.
No, I'm good right
Just
He
so
is.
matter of fact and practical. Like before the third event, which the rope climb box step down one, he basically told me that he knew his legs were gonna blow up, and no excuses for it. He just knew it would happen.
Yep. He's
and
like, well.
it happened, and he's like, yeah, it's hard for me.
And then the first two events, he's like, I have to make up for the snatch event tomorrow. He was right.
Want
you
him.
know? So, nah, man. I hate that. I love Oldest is a good dude.
Yeah, he is.
I think he's got a lot of fire left, right? Like he's got.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
young.
yeah, I
He's
think
super young, right?
I think he is. I think he's like
He
25,
is
26.
Young 20s, low 20s, mid 20s.
I know he's like
26.
Yeah, a year and a half
Yeah.
older than me. I think it's
Way younger than me.
Yeah, he is really matter of fact. Like I remember we did a running workout before the games last year, and I mean I'm okay at running, and so
Good runner.
whoever was there was like a group of the fast runners, and Oldest was in our group, and he like was kind of pushed towards the front the whole time, and me and Sam Cornway were like, hey, you can go on, like you don't have to stay with you. No, I'm kind of jet lagged. I'm not feeling good yet. And then this is when he had no luggage. He just had the clothes on his back.
Yeah.
All he had. he goes, actually, I think I might go faster this round. And then, like, he was beating us by, like, 15, 20, 30 seconds on these 800s. Like, destroying. He was running, like, sub 5-minute mile 800 repeats. Just crushing us. He was almost a whole lap ahead of us at the end.
Was anything said about
It was so funny.
if Jonakowski was injured or anything or sick this past weekend?
No, I have no idea.
Because
I'm just waiting for Angelo to say something that's explosive. I was just waiting.
he won Open and quarterfinals, and then he didn't even
opinions on this.
he didn't even qualify.
I didn't know if he was
The
sick or
opinions
not.
expressed on this podcast aren't necessarily the opinions of Mayhem or Rich Froning.
Mm-hmm. Disclaimer. That should go,
Go
to
ahead,
front.
Angelo.
I don't have anything bad to say. I mean, he's made his mark. He's an incredible athlete for since 2013, 14 when he first made it.
Yeah, it was right around when I stopped. as an
Yeah.
individual.
And he was like winning events then. He wins events now. He won the Open. He won quarterfinals. If he was sick, that would make more sense. But I think if he wasn't sick or injured or whatever it was, it
much
really
pressure,
just
you
goes to show. No, I think it just goes to show that like the Open and quarterfinals matter a good deal for sure, but it doesn't tell you who's going to win the games.
No.
Like
no, heck no.
Like I mean, I know that you would like they always talk about how you would win the Open or whatever.
Back then it was like 5 workouts.
Yeah, but
And it's apples and oranges too.
Yeah.
Like
it's not the same thing. So like you don't need to win the Open and quarterfinals to win the games. I mean, there's guys who probably snuck into semifinals that are not snuck in, but were like in the mid-20s and made it to the games, and he didn't.
Well, after penalties, that's true.
Yeah,
There was plenty of people that snuck
we were
in.
like
Very true.
Yeah,
Isn't he traditionally a pretty good runner?
He's usually a good
Yeah.
endurance athlete.
That's
And
why I thought there might be something off, because he came out and he was practically walking.
Didn't
on
you
the
say
runs.
he came out hot though?
No.
No?
No, not him specifically. I said the
he
field.
did.
The field came out hot. Oldest on that run was like the 7th guy in the first time.
Yeah,
and
That's
then
crazy. Yeah.
by the 3rd round, he was first by a mile.
Yeah.
He's a great runner, dude. Who says this? Oh,
34th place finish in event 1.
Yeah, he
For-
just didn't look right off the
Good for
start.
him for at least saying that, not using the
Yeah.
back pocket excuse
No,
of like, I had this injury. You always save that injury.
everyone
like,
always has an injury, dude.
I gotta like put it on social media that I was sick or.
You know who else was stressing me out during the weekend was BKG. While we
BKG,
were there,
yeah.
he didn't really do anything good while we were there, but he snuck in on Sunday.
on Sunday?
I mean, half the points were still there on Sunday.
Yeah.
What did they said they don't in Iceland? They don't call him BKG. When we said BKG, they're
Yeah.
like, "Who's BKG?"
Yeah,
I'm like,
Inga-
what do you mean?
What?
Yeah,
I can't even pronounce how she
No,
says it.
Jorgen.
But even
No,
even
it's
at
like,
the
you know,
semifinal,
way
it's like,
crazier.
yeah.
they
What is
called him.
Bjorkfin Carl Goodmanson.
Yeah, but they don't say it
they
like
put
that.
their
Iceland-
weird.
Icelanders
yeah,
say it
twinge on
way
it.
different.
Yeah, we don't.
Like,
Our mouth can't make that
Yeah,
sound.
they make like hoofs and like it's
It's that Viking language.
yeah.
We can't do that.
It's like I
Nailed it.
can't do it.
But even the in arena announcers would call him BKG.
BKG, yeah, it's just
Yeah.
yeah. Victor corrected us. He was like, "Who's BKG?"
PKG.
They knew. They were just trying to.
Yeah.
Trying to steer
They
away
want
from
you
that
to say.
maybe.
They want you to try to.
Yeah.
They want to make
Say
you look
his
stupid.
name,
Yeah.
yeah.
Say his name.
Yeah.
What a.
Well, I was just saying like so. Okay,
Karen
so
did great for us. She
Fourth.
fourth. Yeah, got to see her a little bit. Her and Oldest came and hung out a little bit. So happy for her. Seems pretty just level headed and just. Facundo said she just wants to work, right?
Yeah.
So
He told her she wanted to know the pace.
she wanted
for
her
the Echo
exact
Bike
pace on the
workout.
Echo Bike. She doesn't have an Echo Bike,
Yeah.
and he's like, so he's asking me, and I'm like, I don't know. Tell her 68, 69 RPM.
So she just did it.
And he's like, I
Okay.
just don't know if you can hold that. She's like, if you say it, I'll do it. I'm like, hell yeah. 75.
Yeah. Go for broke.
well, let's go wide because you guys have just like basically slapped away my questions.
What was your
seeing.
question?
Let's just
What do you have
say.
about-
Let's start with the
yeah.
whole thing. Seeing the workouts in action, like there weren't any major like issues anybody had with them but
No.
did you guys like the way they played out?
I think they're overall. You look at them; there's pretty well balanced test. You got running with some lifting. You've got you get to touch a heavy barbell a couple times. The snatch workout is it's a heavy test. An athlete that is stronger is going to do better on it. And then that last kind of sprint chipper thing looks terrible. I mean, I think still overall they're good.
Yeah.
I don't know about the teams. What you think about that?
I thought
You've tested some of them, and
we did them all.
Yeah.
We've done them all now.
yeah,
Yeah, I think all our team ones are good. I don't like the fact that we have 5 events and one of them's a heavy lift. However, that 3-2-1 complex isn't just like a 1 rep max. Like there's some fitness and there's some endurance involved and some fitness involved, and there's some our next workout is warm thrusters and running. So doing 4 or 5 probably heavy squats in an event right before that will probably play a factor in that worm squat workout. So I think the compounding effect of that actually is a lot better than like if it was just a clean and jerk. I didn't really have an issue with any of ours. They were pretty much what we thought. No, I have one issue.
there we go.
No, 2. It's
right.
the same issue, but it's with 2 events. So event 1, 30 rope climbs, 120 wall-facing handstand push-ups, 150 calories on the echo
Is
bike.
there only one person working the whole time?
One person working,
Hate
3
that.
people hold the worm.
Yeah.
It's not, that's part of the issue. Drop the worm, and then conga line, 50-foot handstand walk, 48-foot handstand walk.
One 48-foot handstand walk section.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Which,
It's
it's
But
negligible.
you make
at
it
the
better
end.
if you have 2 people holding the worm and 2 people are synchroing through the movements.
You can't do that. You can't do this workout that way. It's too
Really?
long.
Too long?
It's way too long. You're holding. I mean, we don't drop the worm. It's like I think the best time was like 13 minutes.
Yeah.
And the time cap's 20 or 25. Like for a team who's not that proficient at those movements, you can't. 2 people can't hold the worm for 25 minutes.
Sure they can.
But my problem with it is that usually, if you have teams that I know of are usually 2 guys and 2 girls. Who's usually better at rope climbs? Guys. Who's usually better at handstand push-ups? I mean, sometimes girls
Guys.
are like, but usually guys. Who's better at going hard on the echo bike?
Also guys.
Okay, so the guys are doing the bulk of the work, you could say, on that workout. Fast forward to workout 4, which is row and overhead squats. And we had a game plan. I'm glad we watched it before we did it. But what it ended up being is the first workout is a male-female pair, 3 rounds, 30 cal row, 30 overhead squats. So what every team who did good did is the guy rows 30 calories, goes to the bar, the girl does 10, he does 10, the girl does 10. He goes back to the row, rows 30 calories.
So
They're not synchro overhead?
No, it's
and they're
it's-
not 2 people rowing at the same time?
No.
Oh, that's
So the guy rows basically, the guy's workout is 3 rounds of 30 and 10.
Yeah.
The girl does 2 sets of 10 overhead squats, and she
it.
just stays there by the bar, waits for him.
Wow.
That's what everyone did who did well. And then
that's
my version is 90 calorie row, 90 overhead squats. And what everyone did was
90 cals.
no, the girl breaks up and does like 15 calories in the middle. Yeah, so I'm rowing, and what I saw is that
You need Taylor and Andrea.
Yeah, I know. They do all the rowing for me. I go stand at the bar.
They can row harder than you can.
For sure.
And then still probably overhead squat.
Yeah.
And the bulk of the overhead squats. I know. That would be incredible. So I row 45 calories.
She rows 15.
She rows 15. I row 30.
Yeah.
That's like.
And then she does 10. You do 10. And just back and forth.
Yep, pretty much. She picks up some there, some extra there. But yeah, like that whole first workout, the whole fourth workout is all about hammering.
I
your
do
guys.
want to know how they test some of the team workouts. Like the hardest programming for sure, by far, is to program for a team.
Oh yeah.
But you should test that. Yeah, that's both of those workouts fell through the cracks or something.
It should be 30 and 20 at the same time.
Yeah.
And then you do 15 synchro overhead squats.
Yep.
For 3 rounds, and then the next team does,
you could do 90
90 and 6
45 or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever it is, row at the same time,
like they did
go.
for the Echo
Yeah.
bike or assault bike, whatever it was
Deadlift.
back at the time, deadlift.
But even that one slipped through the cracks, 90 to 60 calories.
That workout
But
sucked.
anyways, yeah. Other than those two, like they're good workouts. The first one is actually, it wasn't as heavy on the guys as we thought. However, me and Sam were messed up after the Echo Bike because, you know, we're blasting it. Our girls are really good in the Echo Bike, so it helps us a ton. But
anything else strategically that you gleaned from like watching? Like that's a really cool one to hear that you're like, that you get to see those guys do it.
Yeah, that overhead squat one, if I wouldn't have seen it, we would have done bad. We would have done it wrong. No, I mean, everything else was pretty
straightforward.
Yeah, we pretty much kind of had a good idea on all of them. The last workout is really hard. It's just a lot of clean and jerks and burpees with the worm. So that's what.
Yeah, Sam said he didn't like that one.
The workout's really bad.
This is a hard pivot, but based on what you just said about the team stuff, have you seen the announcement of what Wadapalooza West Coast is going to look like? Mm-mm. So it'll be a regular competition.
Wow, I couldn't possibly care any less.
Just listen.
There's
an additional feature. Actually, I assume that there's a regular competition and this. I don't have enough context.
You know
but it'll be
when you assume, right?
You're correct. And I don't mind making an ass out of myself, which is the great thing.
What about me?
What about me?
Yeah, that's true. Sorry, guys. Dragging you down with me. It's an 8-person team of, you know, all-stars. And the way that they're pitting it is USA versus the world.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, but it also has elements of kind of like the grid. So some workouts will be...
Exactly.
You had me until you said grid.
Yeah.
But, okay. Yeah.
Then you lost me.
All right, well, let me just play it out a little bit.
I threw him in my mouth a little bit.
You've got some events that are all team members working at the same time. You've got some that are traditional, like 2 male, 2 female CrossFit Games athlete or CrossFit Games workouts. And then you have some that are like, you've got 1 female captain, 1 male captain. They'll do a workout together. And then some where it's like a specialist event, let's say is running or monostructural, and you push out one of your team members and you rep the team.
like it, but I don't like it at the same time. Like,
it's gimmicky, but probably fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, you can still make it fun to watch.
It's not for money,
I
right?
think 4 people on a team. You can do some really cool workouts with 4 people and have 4 all-stars to do it. I don't like when you can
hide somebody and then use them.
Yep.
Yeah,
I mean, I get
elsewhere.
it's for show, whatever.
It's just for show. Then
you could do a relay and still have individual components like that. I think some of the best overall programmed competitions, you have some individual aspects, which is a relay. You have some partner stuff, and then you have some 4-person stuff.
But everyone's accumulating about the same amount of volume.
Yes,
throughout the weekend.
I don't like when you can be like, all right, Joey, you're gonna go run. You know,
there's a max clean and jerk. Rich, you just sit back and you rub your legs out with a Theragun for a little while. We're not going to use you for today.
Yeah. So.
Also, if it's for show, then why are we replicating grid? Because nobody
watches.
Whoa.
You're putting words in my mouth. They're not replicating grid.
All right.
No, I'm saying, but I'm not saying you said that. I'm just saying why.
If that is what they're doing, why would we choose that?
That's like hopping on the Titanic after it's hit the iceberg. Hey, we know something doesn't work. Let's try to do it. That's a great idea.
When you say they're doing grid, like, is it like how they do?
I guess what I'm trying to say is formats we haven't seen before. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And maybe it's a 6-person roster, not 8. Again, I don't have all the details, but
I missed.
What I mean is like you can have a variety of formats. Whereas, and to be fair, grid was more like specialists intentionally, and I didn't watch a whole lot of grid. But I don't know. I like the idea of trying new things because
I wish. Honestly, I think they should just bring back some type of the invitational, but it's
the invitational.
You have the kind of
close
the
to
format of like 4-person team is better than 6. Make everybody contribute, or else it's kind of not really a team. I don't know. It
would be cool to like if they did the invitational still. If they took the top individual games athletes and chose like 4 or 5 events from the games that the teams did, and just see like it's almost like a Pro Bowl kind of thing. Like you see. If because there's some where they would smash the best team, and there's some where they probably would just fall apart.
Yeah. Teams of 2 would be cool, right?
Teams of 2. I've been preaching that for a while. Teams of 2.
That'd be fun. Off-season competition. Teams of 2 would be cool.
Off-season competition.
Yeah. I did like. I will say that is the thing that I think that draws everybody to Wadapalooza is a 3-man team because you're not going to see that anywhere else.
3-man is just it's so hard to program, and the
workouts
usually
suck. but like
I think
you can't compare it to anything. So it's just
I
like
think a 2-man competition somewhere would be
like
awesome.
the Everyday Hero
men
games.
or 2 women.
Yeah, like Everyday Hero games.
Exactly.
Yeah, and like from the
in-person events.
I think what also the invitational nailed was short, digestible. Like
I'm
not sitting down for all day Saturday to watch.
Short.
Well, yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, like, because they would do like 4 workouts in an hour.
Yeah. You'd be, dude, by the end of that thing, you're just like workout drunk. You're like, all right, you finished that. Go. Dave's like, come on. And we're like, we literally just finished.
But it added to the spectacle because you guys were capable of it.
Yeah.
And as a fan, it's like sitting down and watch a football game.
Yeah.
I don't have to
you're not
Saturday at the
all
semifinals. I don't have 12 hours to spend watching a broadcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's hard to read between the lines of like when to plug in and when not to.
I mean, those were and some of the best memories I ever had actually were at those invitationals, and it was just cool to be, have USA on your chest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and I mean, I've got some cool, like, just memories from it. First time I
305 snatch.
Yeah, first time I snatched 305. First time it was ever snatched in competition, I'm going to say.
Yeah, I think so.
There was this whole article. This is the one thing I've always been salty about. Morning Chalk Up did an article about how many men hit 300 at this at the semifinal
a couple years ago,
2 years ago or whatever. It was like, it's the first time it's been done in competition. I was like, whoa.
No.
Easy there, Eager McBeaver. Like, I think it was 2014 or 15, we were going to forget about 6 years or however many years it was. So that's my only, like most things I don't really care about, you know, whatever. Like, numbers
but facts
numbers.
are facts.
But that one, I'm like, my name wasn't even mentioned. Like, even put an asterisk of, like, Rich did snatch at a, it was a CrossFit event.
Yeah,
so that one pisses me off.
Yeah, CrossFit sanction.
Morning Chalk Up, you suck. Just for that.
Just for that only.
Everything else, good job, but
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
don't you screw up my snatch.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think you even mentioned it to somebody, and they were like, yeah, that didn't happen, basically. It was like, that was the invitational. It doesn't count. And you're just like,
What happened is they either forgot or didn't think about it,
They didn't
and
wanna
they had to
redact it,
they had to die on that hill because
Yeah.
they already made the article.
Yep. Bastards. So, I don't hold grudges, but when I do.
When I do, they're aggressive. I mean, what else? So Knoxville. Well,
Knoxville's coming up.
so West Coast this
West
weekend.
Coast this weekend. I did say I wish I could go to Carson. That would be a really cool, just to go back and see it. And there's just a lot of memories there, and it's special in the heart.
Yeah.
You were saying, you hope it's as big a spectacle and sold out. I mean, it's a big place to sell out, and even if it doesn't, I think it'll still be really cool. I do.
100%. Yeah, I don't mean to be Debbie Downer. It's just like sometimes when you try and reclaim old glory and it falls short, you're like, shit, we should.
I still just think being there though would be cool.
Walk around, stand on the grounds. That was the best venue by far, in my opinion.
See all the homeless people outside.
Yeah, if you could bring like an atmosphere like Madison outside of the venue, but the venue was dope, man.
Yeah, I don't think there's just something special about that place. I think it was just. Obviously, for me, there was a lot of good memories there. I'd had some good memories in Madison, too, but it just was not the same.
Not the same, yeah.
Yeah, it's just not the same.
Kinda
Outside of the venues, Madison was better, 100%.
Experientially for a fan,
Yeah,
and
but
stuff
on
like that.
in the actual venue and how everything worked, there you just
It's
can't.
nostalgic.
Yeah.
Nostalgic. It had this professional vibe. Like, I'll never forget the first time that we went to do a site visit, and you saw the field, and I'm like, I'd never seen like a professional sports field that was perfectly curated and all that kind of stuff. It had this big crazy ambiance to it. And then my
stadium.
What's that?
The tennis stadium.
The tennis stadium was insane, like vibe wise and, packed to the gills. And my selfish one is that I had that place so wired. Like you could be from, just the underground tunnels and the whole system that was like beneath it was just like, it was cool. But it'd be, you're not going to go out there, are you?
No, I can't. It's Memorial Day weekend, and kids are just getting out of school, and I just got back from Europe.
All fair points.
If any of those things didn't happen, then yes, I'd be there.
What's funny about Knoxville? The community event?
Yeah.
There's only 4 RX teams, and mine is one of them. So
who's your third? It's 3 people, right?
It's one of Boz's buddies that he trains with, yeah.
Isn't Rich on an RX team?
What's that?
Is Rich not on an RX team?
No, he is. I'm just saying, like, in addition to his team, there's only 3 others. One of them is mine. So
you guys will probably be on the podium.
Me or him? I mean, he certainly will.
There's 5 teams.
We just have to not lose.
Wait, there's 4 teams, and you're not sure about your podium chances?
No. Listen. So the last workout,
I think you can do it.
Boz is my man. But the last workout, just the barbell work, like. It's really funny. The last time I went and met with him, we went to an affiliate and just did a drop-in. it was a Mayhem affiliate, and they had programmed Isabel that day. And I was like, yes. And it's just not his jam.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do Isabel. He'll do Grace, and that'll be slow. And I don't know Austin's capabilities, and he's got to do 30 thrusters. But yeah, I mean, generally fitness-wise, we should be good. But I don't know who we're going against. You know,
Rich just did Isabel and Grace at Rogue Europe,
Both of them.
both back to back
as you do.
after a Murph prep workout.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we did Murph prep, and then I was like, we need to do something, because we did the way the kind of flow of the workshops or seminars we would do is Facundo would talk, or we would talk a little bit about, what would we talk about first? It wasn't pacing. Pacing was
No, you were talking about the interval
intervals, why we do
training and
intervals, and how
CrossFit.
we kind of, use intervals at Mayhem a lot. And then we would do some type of longer piece, interval style. And then we would talk a little bit, and then we'd do something sprinty. And so we did, one partner did Isabel, next partner did Isabel, next partner did Grace, next partner did Grace. And it was
There were
spicy.
some brave people that partnered with Rich
Really?
on all the workouts throughout the week.
It was good, though. It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good time.
So which one will you do at the competition?
Grace. I can't. Isabel hurts my shoulder a little bit. Like
Yeah.
the snatch on it just doesn't. It just like feels like I'm picking a scab every time,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
right here on the front. That's a bicep tendon, I'm pretty sure. But so I'm just like, I'll do Grace.
Okay.
And then now, hell, my hand. We'll see what happens. So
That just makes me happy. It's not. I don't have to stand next to you. 3, 2, 1, go.
yeah, but you probably
It'd be
I think
demoralizing.
You'll probably get Chase for that one.
It's
I think
like
Chase is
when-
doing Isabel. I'm doing Grace. I think Henry's doing thrusters. 'Cause
It's like when we go to BCS and Charlie's like, "Hey, good news, man! I got you
You're
in
in
Rich's
Rich's
heat."
heat.
I'm like,
You're like, no thanks.
which hey, we need to finalize those in-person workouts for BCS. Have
Oh,
they
yeah.
announced the qualifiers yet?
No, I don't think so.
It's gonna be big. Indoor plumbing. It's gonna be big. Hercules.
Scott, what was your highlight from Europe?
Highlight from Europe.
Highlight.
Personal highlight, and then I guess we talked about.
Yeah,
kinda
professional highlight was the affiliate, the
Okay.
100
Yeah.
affiliate owners. That workout was really cool.
Yeah.
Personal highlight is we got to go to Brussels, Facundo's, not his, I guess, hometown technically,
Stomping ground.
but that's where he's lived for 15 years.
Yeah.
Meet his family, see where he walks his dog in a dark park at night.
in an abbey.
Yeah,
A
in
bay, a bay.
a literal abbey.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. And
Yeah.
then I made Rich really angry and said we had to go see the Eiffel Tower at 10:30 at night.
Yeah.
That was cool too.
I would
I tell you what,
argue-
my highlight wasn't though, was eating that snail.
really you didn't, it
Disgusting.
wasn't that bad.
Escargot.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
It wasn't that bad.
Bro.
It tasted like oil and like whatever else.
Oil.
Well, they like put oil and
Like motor oil.
Like delicious
Oh,
olive oil. You know?
olive oil.
Also-
and whatever.
Everyone wants to come at you guys for hunting. One of the delicacies
Oh, yeah.
in France is a goose liver where
But they shove a
shove a tube down the goose's throat. They hold its head attached to it and they force feed it until its liver explodes, killing it. and-
Whoa, hang
and-
on. Well, hang on.
and
There's
it's
a
a-
lot to unpack.
And
there.
that's like a delicacy there to eat that exploded liver. No, they
No.
don't. No.
It was like table service. You start ramming this thing down the goose
Like
throat.
hibachi, they
How-
joke, but Scott
how
had
was that
steak tartare, and basically they just show up with like 2 hamburger patties. They dropped some eggs on it, dropped
Yeah.
all the stuff, and like mixed it all in front of you. The girls were appalled that Scott was eating.
I was eating raw beef.
Was it
Yeah.
good?
It was
good.
amazing.
Really?
I would get it 10 more times. And then Hillary told me we had a bet going that within 15 minutes I was going to be on the toilet.
Were
And
you?
I
What
w-
happened?
No, I never had any problems from it.
Yeah, it's a very. I mean, I think even. Well, what do you know? What kind of like ground meat it was? Do you know if it was like ribeye or something? Or is it
I don't
just
know,
ground
It
beef?
was
but-
steak tartare, so
Yeah.
you don't know what meat it was.
I'm at a nice restaurant in the culinary capital of the world. I trust their raw beef.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I
and
would.
there's 100 other people in the restaurant eating the same thing.
Yeah.
It's not like it's the crazy puffer fish, you know, or like whatever, 1 out of 100 people die. Like it's,
No.
it's steak.
little Russian
It's
roulette.
very, very rare that you, even from like if you went and ate it from the store, like that'd be the last
What do you,
place I
you
would
said
eat
there's
it
a guy on Instagram that's eating raw chicken until he
I've
gets
seen
sick.
that.
Yeah, he'll start the video. He'll be like, "What?
Oh, he got sick?
You got sick?"
No. It was just a 100-day
He
experiment.
finished it,
but
never got sick.
No, never got sick. But he's
What
been
are we
doing.
considering sick though?
I've been following him for years. So like
me tell me.
salmonella or like something like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
but he was probably having diarrhea regularly.
No.
I don't think so. No. So
Dude, raw chicken
well,
freaks me out.
he would buy. I think he gets his chicken from. He was on Savant's
Like organic
podcast
or
actually.
something like that?
Yeah, he like knows where he's getting it. He knows it's
okay,
clean.
It's a little different.
So like, I guess like it's not going through like extreme temperature changes, like getting to him. Like he's going to the farm, he's getting a chicken breast, and then he's eating it on camera.
That's different.
Yeah.
Like, the last place I would eat raw meat from is like the grocery store.
Dude, his last one though, he takes one of those like food syringes, he puts it in the bag, and there's like raw chicken juice in the bottom, and just pulls the syringe back, raw chicken juice, just and then he just downs it with some raw eggs.
Is he just going for like shock factor and follows and stuff?
A little bit, but
like
so his whole
dunk.
RIP. His whole thing is I guess I don't know what kind of problems he had, maybe like Crohn's disease or something. I don't know, but it says he was really unhealthy, and a couple years ago he decided to try like a raw diet, literally, with like beef, and he eats like everything raw. And then he said it like fixed him, and so he's just been doing it ever since.
I don't know, man. It's so funny to me with like even with carnivore diet, where I think that, and I don't know anything about this dude, but I feel like so much of the benefit comes from the fact that like if you're only eating meat, you immediately stop eating crap.
Yeah, you eat quality meat.
Or it's more about the stuff that you if you're drinking soda and eating chips and pizza and whatever, like immediately that's out of your diet, and there's probably a larger impact from that
for sure
than the benefit of that.
Well, and here's the deal: is everybody's different. You know, like we want to like prescribe one set nutrition plan to people, and it's just not. It's like fitness, you know, like
there's a couple like consistencies that everybody can agree on, but beyond that, it's personal.
I can agree on not eating snails.
I will say food in Europe seems less additive-y.
Oh, for
I
sure.
think it's strict. They're strict.
They have more.
I
think there's more guidelines on that.
Yeah, I like that a little bit better.
And for sure, I would say there's more. This is like a whole nother rabbit hole, but they have more like small farms and that sort of thing than the huge farms.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of stuff to do with like nutrition, quality of the nutrition. If it's like a smaller farm than a larger farm, even vegetables and fruits and animals.
I will say protein is hard to come by on that continent.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, it's just everything's especially in France or where we were at in Paris. I shouldn't say all of France, but everything was a baguette or a croissant or like, you know, very, very bread heavy. And then, you know, like you'd order a sandwich and it'd be like one piece of ham. All right, I need
the one night we're like, we just need a steak.
I just want a steak, you know. And preparation of the meat, I don't like as much as here in the States.
What does that mean?
I don't know. They just
a steak specifically.
Steak specifically.
The only place in Europe that I've had a good steak was in Madrid. But it was at an Argentinian style meat place. Yeah. Because in Italy they put almost no salt on the steak. France, almost no salt on the steak. It just tastes like nothing. Yeah. But the tartare was amazing because they put mustard, onions, egg.
But it was like
strong mustard. Yeah, really strong mustard. Like your nose felt like it was gonna bleed if you had too much.
We had some fish and chips in London. They were pretty good.
Those were good. The Sunday roast.
Sunday roast was good.
Yeah.
I'd say my favorite food was in London. Actually,
Scotch egg,
man.
We tried Scotch egg because
you know what Scotch egg is?
No,
so this was on the Meat Eater podcast, and I messed it up.
Oh yeah.
But you take a soft-boiled egg, you wrap it in sausage, and then you put breadcrumbs on it, and then fry it. Basically, it was incredible.
I could have had a whole meal of Scotch eggs.
Whole meal of Scotch eggs. Yeah, I think honestly my favorite food and best coffee was in London.
The best coffee for sure was in London.
We had, for the most part, in the continent, so far as I've seen, is everything is espresso based. Yeah. So it's Americanos or whatever you're gonna drink. We found one place in London that actually did pour over, and it was in Ethiopia. It tasted like blueberries, legit blueberries. It was crazy. So we went there a couple times. But yeah, my favorite food and everything I think was in London, honestly.
Wow, you don't hear that a lot.
No.
Most people bag on.
Honestly, this was the most enjoyable trip I've ever had to London. Usually I was like, man, I hate
going to
sunny.
London.
Yeah, most people usually say it's like really bland.
It's dark and like there's just always a mist going on. And we had 2 days of like sunshine and 70 degrees. It was awesome. So London was really cool this time.
Love that.
Paris is cool to see. You know, we didn't get outside of like main Paris. It's very just. I'm just not an artsy person. Like if you were to go to the Louvre and see the paintings and stuff like that, that's not my, like, I like kind of world history on the like, you know, battles or
War
politics
history,
and stuff like that. So Paris, you know, Scott liked seeing Eiffel Tower from far away. I actually thought it was cooler when we drove under it to see, like if we were only to see it at night at 10 o'clock, I'd have been like, it's not that big. But when we drove under it, you're like, oh, wow, it's bigger than I expected. So
You guys didn't go up?
we didn't go up. It was too long of a line and all that. We did one of those hop on, hop off tours and drove right under it.
Saw that.
A lot of the stuff too, they're getting ready for the Olympics. So there's
Yeah,
a lot
Paris
of
was under
construction.
construction totally, which seems very last minute to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, it's getting close. So, I mean, it's cool to see all the architecture and how most of the buildings look the same and they do a good job of
I
that
think
type
my
of stuff.
favorite city it was Lyon, and it would have been even more so. We only got to spend half a day actually in the old town because of the competition. We were like 45 minutes away, but it was very, what was it, like pretty Italian architecture?
It's since they're so close to Italy, there's a very heavy Italian influence on architecture, I think, there. So it reminds you of a lot of Italy.
And it felt less like London was so busy you couldn't even move.
Oh, there was so many
And
people.
Paris is like pretty touristy too.
Yeah.
Lyon didn't feel so like there's definitely a ton of tourists there, but it felt more like a normal city where you can actually go move around and kind of enjoy it.
And there was some topography there, so you could like get up high and see some stuff. There was like a Roman amphitheater we went to that was cool to see that it's like survived thousands of years. And then, you know, we went up to, I forget which church it was, but there's like a view up there that you can actually see, you know, like when you're in London, when you're in Paris, there's just not a ton of topography, and so you can't get a perspective on just how vast everything is and how big. So it was cool.
Sounds like a dream, man. I'm jealous. I love Europe. Bumping around there.
It's cool to see and cool to visit.
What was Billings' takeaway? This is Billings' first time.
I think he liked it.
States,
it's his first time flying over an ocean.
Yeah.
He's been to Mexico, right?
Yeah, so I mean, I would have to translate even between Billings and Facundo sometimes. You know, Matt gets all worked up and gets fast, and he would look at Facundo would look at me, and I would translate. And then sometimes Facundo would say something, and Billings was just like deer in the headlight. What I'll say is, without Facundo, it would literally be impossible for us to do what we did. Like he's a Swiss Army knife when it comes to just like, you know, speaking languages and going between, like you said at the French Throwdown, he had a conversation with 4 different people in 4 different languages.
We showed up.
And can just like switch it.
We showed up to Lyon, and you went to the hotel and like hung out because Kuno and I had to go to check in and grab our VIP passes and all that stuff. And he did 5 interviews in 5 different languages with different media people. And then it's the European semifinal, so there's all kinds of languages there. And he was talking to different people he knew, and he'd be switching from person in like a half second to another person, and it'd be like Italian to Spanish to German, back to me to English, back to this guy to Italian.
That's crazy.
Did he ever mix it up? Like I've seen
He
that.
did
in
with
action.
There was
Rich.
a couple times during the
Translating.
seminars, he'd be like talking to everybody, and then he'd look at me
And he'd be like,
start
blah, blah,
talking
blah.
in French, and I'm like, oui. And he's like, oh yeah. And so like, you know, he would
Total
then,
system malfunction.
Malfunction. When you do that for, you know, 4 or 5 days, it gets,
for sure.
you know, wires get
That's
crossed.
crazy.
But then like, I mean, we were taking public transportation, we were on, you know, trains and stuff like that. And so just having somebody that is familiar with it. Towards the end, I realized for the metros, he was using maps, and then you just select like public transportation and it shows you, and I'm like, I get it now. But still, like being able to read the signs and know which train to hop on and hop off. And I will say, like traveling inter-country or between countries, being on a train was really cool versus, you know, happening to get on a plane or getting an Uber or renting a car or something like that. We would just kind of, and some of the trains, the train from London to Paris was really nice. The train from Paris to Lyon was not as nice.
Yeah.
And did we get on one more train somewhere? Yeah.
We went from Brussels to Paris.
That was a nice train because, you know, you can kind of stretch out a little bit. There's like a table between you. You can sit there and talk and not think about anything for an hour or two and just kind of hang out, which was really cool. But they don't.
Some of the trains like
they don't believe in air conditioning.
You're just
the one to Lyon was a little less
like coach.
quality. It was hot.
Yeah.
Everything was just like there's no air moving, there's no AC, and so you're just like
terrible.
and you're already, it's just not fun.
We
you start to get like not claustrophobic, but you're just like,
something's got to
sucks.
change.
And then you start sweating, and then you
Yeah.
like are nervous
Yeah.
that you're sweating, so you start
Sweating
sweating more. It's just not.
Yeah, we were already talking about where we want to go next, and I think the European CrossFit community is starved for Rich, so we need to get him back there. But maybe we change the month or something.
Yeah. Because even when we were in Italy last year, it was just so hot. And honestly, too, it would be like if you just had a fan in here, like just hang
Yeah.
a fan or put
Move
a fan
some-
somewhere,
move
move
some
some
air.
air, because you just get in there and like there's
Yeah.
30, 40 people in there and you're working out and there's just no air moving.
Oh my
And so you're
gosh.
just, it's stagnant and it's rough.
I really wish you would have taken that cooler that got sent out.
Oh, yeah, the AC cooler?
Yeah, the icy breeze. Would have been
just
so
wouldn't
funny.
wanna-
Just use it for all your like luggage and whatnot, and then at night just throw some ice in it and have AC of your own.
And then what sucks too is we're just toting, like I brought a carry-on size bag. You brought a carry-on size bag.
I brought a.
You had to bring, you're
I had a
different
check
because you
bag.
had cameras and stuff.
Yeah.
But Hillary brought this giant ass bag, and it was like 56 pounds, 58 pounds,
and the
and
wheel
one of
broke.
the wheels broke. So I'm just
no.
toting this thing around Europe, and it's this giant pink bag. I was so pissed.
It was like a
off.
sled drag the whole time.
There's no AC. You're just, it was
Yeah.
awful. I'm like, you couldn't have packed the 4 less pairs of shoes just so we could, get a carry-on size. And then we, you will have, you'll be able to wash clothes.
Washer didn't work.
Washer didn't work. I tried it 4 times. My clothes had like caked on detergent, and then we had to like air dry them. At least they didn't stink, but like, like you'd start
Yeah.
sweating and suds would start coming out of the shorts.
Oh,
You're just
God.
like, this sucks.
I wore my Mayhem versus Everybody shirt 3 times because at the semifinal, I'm like, I need to wear something Mayhem, not just some casual shirt I brought for dinner.
Yeah.
And so I was just wearing that shirt over and over because it was the
You
only
wash it in
thing.
the sink or something, or not,
No,
not at all.
didn't wash it.
Yeah.
I'll like wash the armpits in the sink and I'll let them dry.
We
out overnight.
washed laundry in the shower in Italy,
Yeah.
but it didn't get to that point for me on this
Yeah,
trip.
it was to that point for me.
Matt said he said when he flew home, he had worn those pants 3 times. One of them was flying there,
Yeah.
and he wore the underwear 3 times. He had him for his
The
flight
underwear?
home. He had his underwear turned inside out, and he had his pants on, and then he had socks that he'd worn like 3 times.
That's bad. Having to rewear underwear is bad.
Yeah.
I can rewear pants, rewearing underwear.
He was sitting there when we're waiting to get on the flight from Newark to Nashville, and he said he smelled himself, and he said it smelled like when we're hunting,
Yeah.
and you haven't showered for 5 days. Everything just
I
has
just
a
wouldn't wear
stink.
underwear at that point.
Well, the planes too were like, I don't know,
Moderately
they were
warm
they were
always.
just hot, like
Yeah.
stagnant air. Scott's like editing, so his computer's
It's
just
like an
radiating
oven.
heat.
I was between Maddie and Rich, and both their arms are touching me, so my arm's sweating there. And then I couldn't put the laptop on the long flight on the table because it's like here,
Yeah.
and it hurt my.
It's in your lap.
Yeah, so I had to put it on my lap so I had more room, but then it's sitting hot on my lap.
Oh my god.
At one point, I had to take an hour and a half break from editing just because I was
Cool
so
off.
hot to put the laptop up on the thing. And of course, my bag's 15 rows up.
Yeah.
I can't put my laptop away because we were the last people on the plane.
Give you an idea, on the way home, I watched Lincoln, which is a 2.5, 2:45 movie. I watched Manhunt, the series Manhunt. It's on
A
Apple.
series.
It's all 7 episodes. It's about John Wilkes Booth.
The series.
And then I watched Oppenheimer.
Oh my gosh.
You
I
put in
watched
some work.
all of those movies on the way.
Put in
home.
some work.
On the way there,
You're chain smoking movies.
I watched the entire series to that point that had been out of Franklin. So it was like 9 episodes.
Oh man.
And you
Going-
weren't sleeping. Like you needed to
Yeah.
sleep, but you couldn't sleep. It was not. The way there was way worse. The way back is you're flying through the day, technically.
Yeah.
Like you start at, local time. I think it was midnight, and then we got home at 10 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
But at least at home it was
Yeah.
midnight, but
Yeah.
there it was like 7 or 8 a.m. So at least you were through the day, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one that we flew
The
through the
opposite.
night. It was awful. You
Yeah.
get there at 10 a.m. and you're just like,
All right, I guess we got to do stuff. I haven't slept at all.
Yeah,
Yeah, Matt couldn't figure out how to sleep on that plane going there.
I couldn't either.
Going back to it, and then what you said, Ro, the funniest thing Matt did the whole trip was everything he ate, it just tastes slightly different, And he's like, it's got a wang to it.
Wang to it. Did he
Or
say that a lot? I
He
didn't
drinks
notice it.
something, it's got a little wang to it. He said it at least 50
Did he?
times.
I didn't notice it.
Everything he ate had a wang to it.
Wang.
It's a billing shirt.
Yeah. All right. I don't have anything else to. Did semifinals, did Europe. Yeah. That's it.
Killing it.
We might podcast one more time before Knoxville.
Yeah.
And we might
Scotty
not.
Scheffler got arrested.
That was bizarre, huh? Did you see the AI?
Yes.
The
so
AI
good.
is incredible.
Sam sent it to me.
and
I
it
go,
sounds almost like he's saying.
Oh,
he
send
sent
me
it to
that.
me, and Sam didn't
yeah.
watch it. I watched it. I go, dude, I know it's crazy. I couldn't believe he said that. He
Yeah.
goes, no way. I thought it was AI.
It
I go,
was AI, which is bizarre that they can do that.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's scary, dude.
It looks
Scotty
Scotty
Scheffler,
Scheffler that got
golfer.
arrested, the number
Golfer.
one golfer in the world, got arrested driving in. So yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Would they make him pop off basically?
Oh,
or
I
say
mean, he just
something?
says like,
oh,
it was a power-hungry cop who arrested me, and it really shows this terrible state of Kentucky. He goes,
yeah,
"Oh,
yeah,
It's
this
just-
backwards state of Kentucky. Like
Yeah.
you know, it's AI, but still,
but
it's,
it looks legit.
it looks legit.
And especially like, you know, you get morons on social media. They'd be like just sharing that. They're like, look at this idiot saying this.
Yep. No, people on social media don't. They don't just
They
take
always
what's
fact
seen
check
on-
stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
I wonder if the fact checkers fact check that. You know, they do that. Like, this hasn't been checked, so it may be false information.
Oh yeah.
I bet it doesn't have that on there.
Probably not.
Needs to be for the future. You know what I mean? Because if that's your first impression, you just
Yeah.
take it to like
Yeah.
even if later on you find out it was AI, you're like,
Yeah, you're kind of like maybe
you don't change that first impression.
exactly. And then PBR World Finals was this weekend as well. You watch that at all? You guys
I've
watch
been
that?
to one or two.
I've been to a couple of them, but
Crazy.
yeah, I don't keep up with it.
The guy who won, Casio Diaz, was wearing Lane Frost chaps. You know who that is?
Yes. 8 seconds.
Yeah. He was gifted them right before
That's
he won in them, which is pretty cool.
That is dope.
So.
And Ricky Stenhouse got in a fight.
Ricky Stenhouse got in a fight. Did
Oh,
you watch
really?
that?
No.
He punched Kyle Busch right in the face. And then, and then Ricky's dad jumped in and like tackled.
I gotta see this.
You gotta watch it.
It would be this might sound bad, but it would be so fun to get in a fight like that.
Yeah.
Just like 20 people just punching and tackling each
I
other
gotta see
You haven't
this.
seen it?
with no repercussions
so
for
what
it.
happened was
Yeah,
earlier,
really
like
no
it's the
repercussions.
all-star
No, they
race.
probably got fined, but
All-star race. Ricky's coming from the back, and he tries to basically not squeeze. It was open, but he makes it 3 wide going into the turn. One of the guys gets a little bit of tight and comes up, hits Ricky, and Ricky pushes Kyle Busch into the wall. Kyle Busch just barely taps the wall, whatever. So Ricky's ahead of him. Next turn, Kyle comes up and just kind of punts him a little bit. Nothing crazy, doesn't get Ricky out of whack or whatever, and so you kind of think it's over. Well, the next turn, he just punts him, basically, and puts him into the wall. Ricky had a pretty decent car. He's a single-car team. He's frustrated, has a, like kind of a chance to – I mean, it's for $1 million, right? And it's, not 40 cars, it's 20-something cars, whatever. So they're at this old track that they've kind of redone. It was really big in its heyday, but it's a short track. Well, so there's no tunnel out. So usually most of these tracks underneath one of the turns has a tunnel so guys can leave and just kind of get out of there if they get wrecked. So Ricky, his car's wrecked. He parks it right in Kyle Busch's pit because he can't drive any further and just leaves it, gets out, starts yelling at someone, gets up on the crew chief's face and whatever, and you think it's over, right? Well, Ricky can't leave. He's sitting there for an hour and a half, 2 hours watching the race go on, probably getting more and more pissed, right? So he's out of his race suit. Well, it shows Kyle Busch walking up to the hauler, and Ricky's standing there kind of in his, clothes, normal clothes, and they just start going at it. Ricky, back and forth and talking shit, and then all of a sudden Ricky just punches him in the face, and he kind of like Kyle barely misses, so it like glances off his face. Well, then all hell breaks loose. I don't know. I don't know who grabbed Ricky. If it's some of Kyle's crew, I don't know if it was like different security. Well, when they do that, Kyle's kind of free. So Ricky's dad comes flying in, and you got to like watch it and then pick somebody's voice to listen to.
Yeah.
Because like there's so much chaos going on because Ricky's dad jumps in there and starts like, at first he's kind of like holding Kyle up and then realizes he has Kyle, so he starts swinging on him. And they're like, somebody sent me a picture, my buddy Michael Foley, who works for Joey Logano. And like you can see the ripples in Kyle's face where Ricky's dad. Imagine my dad, right?
Oh, dude.
And
I
so
love
like,
it.
Oh my gosh.
and part of you is like, well, his dad shouldn't have jumped in there. But if you see your son getting pulled away and this guy's free, hell yeah, I'm going to jump in there and protect my son, But you hear Ricky going, Dad, somebody grab my dad, you know, because Rick's just going at him. And then like Kyle's crew pulls him off, and then some of Ricky's crew gets in there, and then one of Kyle's crew members, big guy, starts just throwing people off the truck. He's like, "Get out of here! Get out!" And like, I mean,
Dude,
like pulling him out of here. It's pretty good. And I mean, you know, fighting is not good, but sometimes, you know, you gotta air it out a little bit.
It's just missing from CrossFit.
I know,
That's
really.
good. I want to see you start a fight on the competition floor.
Well, I mean,
don't ask for something.
the
you don't wanna
best
see.
tweet. Dale
I'll gladly do it.
Jr. tweets, let's concrete up all the tunnels at all these racetracks. You know, basically, like
that was too good.
let the guys you know, let them handle it a little bit. So
To put this in CrossFit terms, imagine the games last year when
Yeah.
Lazar and Medeiros crashed each other twice,
Yep.
and then they
They
just
got
got in a fist fight afterwards.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
yeah, that's
Because I know
basically what happened.
CrossFitters don't
You
watch
gotta
any
watch
other
them. There's
sport.
so many
Gotta happen.
angles of it too, so you can see different because everybody's got their
awesome.
phone out.
Oh, yeah.
That was
you
the
know?
best
Well,
part is he knew full well that it was going to be on 82 different cameras. There's like a guy with a broadcast
Yep.
camera. There's all these guys with like
I
real
saw a
cameras.
couple
All these
comments.
people with cell phones.
People are like, "Oh, he sucker punched him." I'm like, "No, they were standing straight up, and Ricky just decided to swing on him." You know, It
Someone
is
has
what
to
it is.
punch
It's not
first.
like they were like he was coming up from behind him
Yeah,
and hitting
they
him.
were-
Like
yeah.
they were there, and
They were
Ricky went for
chirping
it.
And
so-
like, correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of times in NASCAR, they'll just do that little face off and
Oh,
just
yeah.
sort of like middle school talk shit
Yeah,
and
yeah.
back off.
Yep.
But so
No, those two.
well, Kyle probably wasn't expecting the fist in the
No, he
face.
was not. it was it was funny to watch. Yeah. And we had just gotten off the plane, and I'm like, get fired, you know, because people know I'm friends with Ricky, and I'm getting like 10 texts, 15 texts.
Did you
Like,
see
"Did
Ricky
you see
get in the
Ricky
fight?"
punching? And I'm like, no. And so I watched.
Yeah, it was
on
when
the
we
way
got off the long flight,
back.
right?
When we got off the
Yeah.
long flight. So on the way back, I watched videos of Ricky getting into a fight. So
Yeah, I think you can't call it a sucker punch when he's not like a professional
they're
boxer.
faced up. Like,
And he
sorry
has-
that you weren't the first one to throw hands.
He has
you know?
such a slow drawback too. Like he saw it coming.
Yeah, had to have.
It's not like it's Mike Tyson.
No.
You know.
No, it was fun to watch.
Go check it out.
Yeah, you have to watch it. It's pretty good.
Sure.
Grab my dad, dad, no. Because I mean, Rick probably gets suspended from the track for a little bit.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
But yeah, worth it. Like I said, protect your son.
I gotta go pee.
Yeah. All right. Peace.